to replace the steering rack is going to cost me more than an entire Ferrari. That is very disappointing, guys. I was really hoping that that steering rack would be okay.
That's such a shame because these are so expensive.
Now, most of you agreed that using my spare Scuderia steering rack is the best way and build a hybrid one between this one and the broken one on the Scud. But first of all, we need to get the damaged one out of the Scud. The first part of removal is we're going to head underneath this dash and disconnect the steering column, which comes from the steering wheel here, from the top of the steering rack.
Now it's literally only one bolt that holds the column to the rack. Sounds simple, right? Nope, it's not. Anyone who's ever tried to do any type of job under a Ferrari dash will know it's a rather cramped area, and a job like this was designed to be only performed by a contortionist. Okay, so you just saw me remove the steering column from this part of the steering rack. Now how it works is you have your steering wheel here, you turn your steering wheel, it turns the steering column, which effectively turns this part of the steering rack. You've got a little worm gear in there and your rack in this housing. That, as you turn it side to side, moves these ends in and out, which are attached to your wheels, which move like this, and that's how you steer your car. Now the only difference between this and the BBI you saw a few videos ago is this is a power assisted steering rack, whereas the old school stuff doesn't have any assistance. And all that means is this is a lot easier to move than the old ones. You don't have to be built with muscles to be able to move them, and apparently the one on the Scuderia is a really well thought out steering rack, so that's why I'm going to keep it original. Now I'd already taken a guess and removed all the carpet panel from the front trunk, which had given me plenty of access to the rack, and removing that was our next mission.
So we're having an absolute nightmare with this steering rack. All of this side over here has been successfully undone, and as you can see, it's all completely loose there. You can actually see the steering rack shaft on the middle there, so that's split apart. I've got all of this loose. I've even undone everything on the inside of the car from the steering column, but there are two bolts that are an absolute pig to get to, and they are under here on this side. So the ones that sat over there, you saw, they were nice and easy. These ones, well, this whole brake system part here sits in the way. Now what we've managed to do, and it's probably not the best idea, we've undone all the bolts on it and we just pulled it up very slightly, being real careful because these are all solid lines for the brakes. And now O is on the outside of the car, I'm going to be on the inside. We've got one bolt down there and one at the back. Now we just about can get to this one, and currently we have absolutely no idea how we're going to get any kind of spanner or socket on the back one, because there's a bolt underneath and there's a bolt on top, and well, we need a spanner on both, so this is going to take some time. Okay, I got it. You see if you can turn it. Okay, that's one bolt out, so we're 3 out of 4. We saved the best till last. The last one is right at the back over there. Any ideas, how are we going to get it out?
No ideas.
Right, we have run through every spanner in the tool arsenal, and that's not even a fraction of them. That is just the ones that we've tried. Oh, which one was the one that was working?
This one.
17 mil, right, get it on there. This is the only way we can do it. We've pulled the boot off the steering rack.
Just got to hold it there.
Just about get it in there, and then from the other side, this is 100% a two-man job. I come in here with the flattest 17 I can possibly get underneath there, and Ferrari make it even more tricky because this bracket it all sits on has got a middle section, so it means you can get a tiny little turn each time. Right, so that's everything off the rack. Now I need to just, there you go, and that is it off the column. So it's completely loose, but we need to get it out of the car, and I think the only way, if you look here, all of this is in the way, and this is quite a big unit, so this is our biggest gap down there, even though it doesn't even look like it's big enough to get that through, but it must be. There's only one way in, one way out. It's got to be down there. Well, it turns out that wasn't the only way in, and I should have referred to the workshop manual. Got to get this wheel off.
So we're down on this side, and I think this is the area really we're going to try and get it through, but I have really struggled by keeping in the front anti-roll bar there. I'm really hoping we haven't got to take it out now, because look at this, we've got a tiny little bit of gap there. How much space have we got there then? I think that anti-roll bar is going to have to come out. I'm not going to clear that without getting these pipes off the front rad. Something else I have just spotted is that all of these ends are upgraded Hill Engineering ones, and I've been informed they were all changed very recently. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this one. The other one is okay on the other side. They're going on whatever we use as a replacement.
You're still in the way of that harness.
Yeah, right? I'm just gonna put some gloves on. Okay, so well, the only thing I think we are really struggling here, there's too many things in the way to get this steering rack out of the way, so we are gonna remove the front anti-roll bar. It's gonna give us a little bit of clearance underneath, and hopefully that is gonna be enough to be able to maneuver this thing out of the way. Okay, so there's one. That's our anti-roll bar all loose. Now, just got to take the two 13mm bolts out of here, and in theory, that should come out. There we go. Now, taking the front anti-roll bar out of the car has been a bit of a pain. I didn't want to have to do it, but there is always a silver lining to every cloud, and in this case, well, there's a couple. First of all, it enables me to give it a nice clean up. We're going to do that before we put it back in the car, but also it allows me to check if this thing was actually straight. It was the last little piece of the car that I really was not 100% sure with. So the good news is it is perfect. There is no damage to that front anti-roll bar. One other thing actually that intrigued me was, what is the difference between the Scuderia anti-roll bar and all of the other ones? So the Scuderia is unique. Normal 430s are a different part number, and normal 360s and Challenge Stradales are the same part number as those 430s. So the only one that is unique is the front Scuderia. And well, it allows me to measure it. So if we measure the thickness of the scud, that is just about 18mm. And then if we come over to the Stradale one, that is a hole at least a mil thicker. So it's lightweight, hopefully it's stronger, and well, I'm going to give this a clean up. We'll put it back in the car. Just by sheer luck, I think we have figured this one out. Look at this. Somehow we've angled it and it's going to come out here. Look at that. Now, I'm not even confident it's going to go back in that way, the other one. Top tip for the future, make sure you read the manual and save yourself about 3 hours struggling. All right, let's assess this and just see how bad it is. Now, before we head inside and start dissecting this thing, I've got to say a huge thank you to everybody who took the time to leave a comment or even email me with ideas on how we can either repair this thing or save some money on it somehow. I've read all of the comments, guys, I promise you. I just don't get time, unfortunately, to respond to every single one of them. If I did, I'd get no work done around here. But thank you so much, guys. Keep all those comments coming, because they really honestly help me out. Anyway, let's head inside and see just how bad this thing is. Okay, guys, so we've got the rack on the table, and it is not looking good at all. Check this out. So this, well, let's start with this part here. This is our bit that comes out and attaches to the steering column. Look at the angle on that. Look at, this is the good one, this is Stradale one. Look at that, and specifically look at the angle of that. So it's bent right over where it's all split, but this also looks like the shaft is bent as well. And then if you come down here,
So my idea is obviously to take out the rack and the pinion gear from in here, that's obviously bent, but the rack itself, probably can't see it too much on camera, but that's all started to shear away. It's not right. It's, you know, I can feel it's quite sharp there. And if you actually focus down here, look at this. Look at the hole that it goes into, and the shaft is right onto one side. So I actually think the shaft is bent as well. So I don't even think it's worth me trying to strip this one apart. The other issue is this good one from the Challenge Ferrari, which fits all the 360s and all the 430s, apart from the Scuderia, has some monetary value. So this is about £2,000 these typically go for used. And if I start stripping that and this, I'm effectively going to probably make this worthless. So I think the plan currently I'm thinking is keep this, sell this for 2,000, offset some of the cost, and see what I can do to rectify this. Like I said earlier, I really want to put a Scuderia one in there because the steering feel on a Scud is supposed to be so much better than a normal 360 and even a Stradale. So that's the plan. But right now, it's going to cost me some big cash.
In the previous video, the guys from Collision Repair Group kindly came to give me a hand installing a new screen on the Scuderia, but it didn't quite go to plan.
So we had a slight little problem in that Ferrari packaged up the wrong screen. So we actually, when we went to fit it, found out that it was a little bit too short, and we figured out that it was actually a Spider screen, which is just a little bit shorter than the normal coupe. Anyway, the guys have done a fantastic job. They've shot off, they've managed to get another one, and well, we're hopefully going to get a screen in this car this morning. Keep finding glass everywhere. For the next year, I'm going to find glass in this car, I know it.
This time we were taking no chances, and after triple checking all of the part numbers on both the sticker and the box, we were all happy the screen was a genuine, correct Scuderia Coupe this time. James and Luke do a final test fit and then prep the screen and the area ready for install. Now, the great bonus about having that screen out for an extra day gave me plenty of time to clean up as much of that broken glass as possible and give everything in that area a really good clean up.
Which door opens? That one. I've checked inside and it's even, either side, it looks identical.
Wow, let's check this out. I had to shoot out quickly, unfortunately. That is fantastic. This car is starting to come together. Look at that. Absolutely amazing job. Can't thank the guys at Collision Repair Group enough for this. Luke, great job, mate.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
That is the first bit to transform this car, get it back on the road. Wow, that looks absolutely superb. We have just managed to get the car into the garage. It started to pour down out there, so just in the nick of time. But check this out. Look how close this is to my toolbox at the front there. And I can just about get the garage door open with a few millimeters to spare, so I've got to be so careful in the future. Anyway guys, I have to say a huge thank you to Collision Repair Group, Luke, James, and of course Paul in the background pulling all of the strings, making this happen. The screen looks fantastic. It literally has started to transform this car, and we're starting to get this one back on the road again.
if only the rest of the car looked as good. I mean, if you just look at this angle hero, yeah?
It looks good for me.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fine. The roof looks good, this looks good. Just don't show the rest of the car. So with the screen sorted out, I've been working on the steering rack dilemma, and I have just had a freaking awesome result. But it means we got to wait a few more days for a very special delivery.
The next day.
A massive thank you to my man Josh at Exotic Auto Recycling across the pond in the US, who really helped me out with this one. Hooked me up with it, and he did me an amazing deal. We'll come to that deal in just a second. Let's first of all open it up and check out that we've actually got a left-hand drive Scuderia genuine steering rack in this box. Steering rack for the Scud. All looks good, packaged amazingly, and no damage at all there. So that's it, all genuine. All ready to go on the car. Okay, let's install ourselves a steering rack. With everything removed down there, it gives me an opportunity to clean up all of that dirt and all of the spilt fluids. It's actually really clean down here apart from that. Give that a wipe up. Look at that, man. Lovely. Time to put the replacement back in the car. Now, bit of luck so far. We've slid it in, and it has actually come in from this angle. We weren't, you know, just lucky with the other one, the fact that it was broken apart. This one has gone in okay like that. So, you feed it across. Which way do we need to go? I just need to clear that. All right, that's good. Now you come your way. No, sorry, this way. Amazingly, we have got it in place. We've just got the 4 bolts finger tight, just a couple of threads on them just to get everything aligned. And I've got to admit, actually, that was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely not a one-man job. That's pretty much impossible. And yeah, we just need to bolt that up, connect it up in the car, and then anti-roll bar, bit of fluid, and we should have steering again. Fingers crossed. Copper wash it there. Okay. Now if we check our fluid, this is our power steering here. It is completely empty as expected. And the final job is refilling all of the power steering fluid, and there's quite a lot that we have lost. We're then going to fire up the car and go lock to lock. We'll just do that a few times. I'm then going to just check to make sure we've got no leaks anywhere, and it's all looking good here. Let's just check under the car, and all good down here as well. And again, it all looks good up there. I know you can't see much. So finally, we just need to check the back here. And now you can see it's very bubbly. That's where it's bleeding itself when we do the lock to lock. So I'm going to just let all that settle. We're going to check the level again, top it up, but that is mission success. All right, let's give you a quick update on the spend so far. Now, I'm on a stall, by the way, because I'm expecting to start up here and come way below the bonnet. So Scuderia, 50,000 to start with, 990 was the wheel tyre refurb, shock and spring are still en route, they were 1,600. Steering rack, now before I give you that number, I've got to say a massive thank you to Josh at Exotic Auto Recycling across the pond. He watches the channel and he did me an absolute solid on this one. It cost me £2,170 all in, that's with shipping and the taxes, for a genuine Scuderia rack. Guys, if you need anything for your supercars, check out
exotic auto recycling, because it's not just Ferraris, they've got everything there, and it's people like those guys that manage to keep cars like this back on the road, and well, without them this would be an absolute nightmare. So thank you very much, guys. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description below the video. We've also got the windscreen cost. Now again, every cloud has a silver lining. Last video, unfortunately, Ferrari packaged up the wrong screen, and Collision Repair Group did a fantastic job going away and coming back with the right one, and they are so good to me. They had a discount from Ferrari because of all the mess. As gesture of goodwill, Ferrari gave them the replacement screen for £1,000. Now the guys didn't even have to mention that. They did not have to pass on that savings to me, but they have done it, and I again can't thank you guys enough. Paul and the team did a sterling job fitting that screen and sorting out all of the mess that we had there. So thanks so much, guys. Make sure you check them out again for any of your windscreen needs or any of your diagnostics needs, not just on Ferraris, on basically any kind of car. Again, the link will be in the description below the video. Final one on here, suspension arms hub. The only unknown here is a bearing. I've put a 0 cost at the moment. Until we drive the car, I can't really tell you if the bearing's going to be good or not. It feels okay, but that is it. So that means our current spend cost is £55,760. So we are back on track, guys, and with that, let's move over and see excuse me, and see how our schedule's going. Oh mate, I told you to move this junk. When are you going to get rid of it?
Sorry mate, I'll do it later.
Dude, right, okay, so plan. Car, is it mobile? It's semi-mobile now. We've got this rack in. I'm just waiting for that last suspension. Technically, I could probably actually move this right now, because we do have the 360 spring on it, but we haven't done that yet, so give you a half tick there. Chassis damage, right, we are coming to that in the next video. I've been stripping the car apart and I found why this is a Cat S. We'll go through that all in the next video, I promise. There's some interesting stuff there. Get it running, we've done that. Watertight, we are now 100% watertight with a fantastic looking windscreen. And then bodywork, that's all coming in the future. So we are getting there, guys. And with that in mind, and all the knowledge of our spend so far, are you gonna re-guess how much this is gonna cost you, or me, I wish it was you, to finish this build? Hopefully, with those savings today, we are really gonna be bringing the cost down considerably. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you all in the next one. You can also check out what I get up to on a daily basis on my socials. Until then, stay safe and ciao for now. That noise there means we have a problem. Potentially have just spent hours and hours on a suspension shock that is faulty.